Welcome to Pod Apostle. Help us build the kingdom of God. Like, subscribe, and share. Good morning. It is wonderful, truly wonderful to have you all here today as we gather together to celebrate all the saints, right? And I was listening to the first reading, those who survived the time of great distress. Not every season of our life is a time of great distress, but I'm here to tell you, this is the time of great distress. This is what the saints survived. This is what they endured, this journey through this pilgrimage away from home, And so I have said before, life's not necessarily easy. And it's not necessarily easy to be a saint. To die to this world and the passing things of this world. And the saints, we celebrate them today and we are inspired by them. Does anybody here have a favorite saint? Don't raise your hand. but I hope you do. And maybe it's your confirmation saint. And maybe you've forgotten your confirmation saint. Maybe it's your saint, your name saint. I'm so privileged. I have Michael and Paul as my names, So maybe that's one of your favorites. But somebody that inspires you. We're surrounded by saints in Bay St. Louis being one of them. Our Lady being one. St. Stanislaus being one. St. Clare being one. St. Rose de Lima being one. As I say, But we're so privileged. We have them to inspire us and encourage us. I mentioned this weekend, I was looking for a quote. And the quote I was looking for was educated into imbecility. Okay? Educated into imbecility. Who said that first? And what does it mean? It means what St. Paul said in his letter to the Romans. He said, although they claimed to be wise, they became fools, and they exchanged the glory of God for images of mortal human beings and birds and animals. Claiming to be wise, they became fools. It is this human wisdom that turns off the wisdom of grace. And we educate ourselves into imbecility and forget the glory that we were created for. You were created for the glory of God. And we can know that. The grace of God is poured into us. And we're supposed to be. Who here, I asked you, do you have a favorite saint? Who here wants to be a saint? Again, you don't have to raise your hands, But, there's only two choices, right? There's only two choices. And so I hope, desire to be the kind of people that we celebrate today. And what kind of people were they? They were poor in spirit. They grieved their sins. They were meek. They hungered and thirsted, not for the passing things of the world. They hungered and thirsted to be right with God. They were merciful. They were pure of heart. They were peacemakers. You want to be those things? I was thinking about this recently. I was thinking that for as long as I can remember anyway, my adult life, I'm not sure I thought this way in my teenage years, but I've thought I want to be a saint, right? I don't want to go to hell. I want to be a saint. And really, that's our two choices. And it's always kind of been like that. I don't want that, so I guess I want this. But just recently, and I'm almost ashamed to say this, just recently, I'm looking for this quote, educated to imbecility. And I discovered the person that wrote those words, and it's Malcolm Muggeridge, who I mentioned at Sunday Mass. And so I looked into him a little bit, and he was under the spell of Mother Teresa. And he wrote a book called Something Beautiful for God. And I cannot more highly recommend it to you. It's like a 3-hour listen on Audible. Something Beautiful for God. And as I was listening to this story of Malcolm as an agnostic, interacting with Mother Teresa, and how he is saying, this woman brings a light everywhere she goes. This woman interacts with a poor, homeless, half-dead person on the street and brings light into their life in that moment. He was so blown away by her persona and her love. And I'm listening to this book, reading this book, and I think to myself, I'm not ashamed to say, I'd like to be like that. I'd like to be like that. Would you like to be like that? Now, will I be like that? You know, we think about the saints, it's like the Hall of Fame, right? It's like the Hall of Fame, right? We got the Hall of Fame for baseball players and football players and basketball players. Not everybody's going to the Hall of Fame, right? As hard as they try, God has chosen some people to be extra special in a sense. I'd still like to be one of those people. I'm not sure that I'll have that privilege. To those who much is given, much will be asked. I think we probably have some extra special people right here in this church. Do you want to be that person? Do you? So let's hunger and thirst for that. We got lots of beautiful examples in the world. St. Clare and St. Louis, St. Augustine, St. Matthew, St. Paul, Our Lady. So today we celebrate all the saints, and we're not ashamed to say we really, really do want to be a saint.